All right, welcome to Bryan High School. We're where our Lady Bears. Sorry, I've had too much time to think about what I wanted to say, and I couldn't remember what I wanted to say. The Lady Bears are hosting the Polar Bears from Toledo Woodward tonight in OHSAA sectional basketball action. Just 4 games in our giant district going tonight. A couple of rat tail games in both brackets. Bryan has Woodward, and Bellevue plays Lexington tonight. And then all of those games will feed into the next round, which are all Saturday, either afternoon or evening games. Winner of this game will play in the evening on Saturday at St. Mary's because of a wrestling tournament, or I think the league wrestling meet for the WBL is at St. Mary's. So regardless, Bears want to get to Saturday night. They got to handle Toledo Woodward first. Brian Arnold and Tim Meister here with you to cover the action. We've only got about 3.5 minutes left till tip tonight. Unusual 6 o'clock start for varsity action. So Coach Meister, we're kind of hurrying ourselves through this process.
Yeah, it's always good to get tournaments started. Hard to believe it's here. A very, very quick season. Excited to see the Lady Bears get into tournament action. I think they really started to come on at the end of the year. Had a couple of really nice victories. End of the season with what may have been one of their finest performances against a really good Wauseon team. So tonight, you know, it's tournament, it's one and done, so you have to be able to execute and be at the top of your game right from the get-go.
Toledo Woodward comes in, abbreviated schedule, just played anywhere between 13 and 15 games, depending on where you look. But we've got them at 3-10 and 0-2 in the City League. Young team, only one senior. She'll start tonight for Coach All's squad. And then a junior, Morgan Johnson. It sounds like probably the biggest problem for the Bears to handle. Comes in averaging 6 points a game and collects 11 rebounds a game. So Coach Meister, I think, honestly, looking at tonight's game, the biggest factor for the Bears is to be sharp, make sure they take care of their business, and then get out of this thing healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. And let's face it, to be quite honest, on paper, this is a mismatch, even though in tournament anything can happen. Woodward's a City League team that has struggled. They struggle with numbers. They brought in Coach All this year to try to turn things around. You know, it's going to be a building process. But like you said, I think the Lady Bears are still in tournament. So one, execute and play well. 2, hopefully it's a night to get your young kids in to get them some tournament experience. Because we have seen over the past couple of years, there always comes a game if they're going to make a run. If you have an unexpected kid off the bench, you've got to come in and play. So it'd be nice to get them some time under their belt. And then, as you said, most importantly, after winning the game is let's come out healthy and no one be hurt.
Absolutely. So, you know, like we said, we got an abbreviated pregame tonight. We're going to stick around here. I would say we've seen keys for both teams, but regardless, if we're talking about keys on the Bryan side, I think if I'm looking at this as Coach Groshine, it's let's be really good executing. Let's make sure that we're focusing on playing the opponent, not the scoreboard. And you probably say that for both teams. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Play with a lot of effort. Do things right. And understand if you're the Bryan Golden Bears, your goal is to be playing Saturday evening down in St. Mary's against the team you lost to earlier this year. What can you do tonight to keep yourself or get yourself prepared for that? Yeah,
absolutely. And I think you want to maintain that positive vibe that Bryan has coming off the last couple of weeks of their season. Feel really good about the flow of your offense, the execution of your defense. You know, last thing you want to do is come out tonight and play a clunker and then think all week about, okay, where are we at? I mean, you made such good progression this season, like you said. Execute the heck out of it tonight. And I think jump out early, just do the things that we need to get done to make sure we're preparing ourselves for that next step.
Absolutely. This is the Bryan Athletic Boosters countdown to tip-off. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veterans Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. So we're getting close now to tip-off for the first ever meeting, what we believe is the first ever meeting in girls basketball between Bryan and Toledo Woodward. So now we know that we're experiencing some technical difficulties, but we're going to get through starting lineups for both teams. It'll be a little bit longer than most nights. We'll do national anthem. Mr. Aaron Hughes will take us through all of those things, and then hopefully by the time we're ready to tip it up, we'll have everything cleaned up, taken care of, and be ready for some basketball tonight.
Members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Bryan High School welcomes you to this interscholastic contest between the Woodward Polar Bears and the Bryan Golden Bears. To honor America, would you please join in the playing of our national anthem?
Veteran Services of Williams County. Our officials tonight get introduced here shortly are Matthew McCullum, Jody Arkwright, and Abby Moore. Game officials brought to you by Tri-State Vision Center, serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all your eye care needs. So while we're going through introductions here, which will be non-starters and starters and hitting the Woodward side, Coach Meister, let's talk a little bit about the Polar Bears.
We touched on this a bit earlier. Coach Troy Alls in his initial season with the Woodward Polar Bears at 3-10, as you said, playing an abbreviated schedule due to a lack of numbers. They enter the tournament as the number 10 seed. They're only averaging 17.8 points a game. They're allowing about 48.9.
All right, so we've got Mr. Hughes now ready to do all of our players on both sides. A chance to do reserves and starters. But first, a musical interlude. All right.
All right, first we guest on the scoreboard, the Toledo Woodward Polar Bears.
There's just something about starting at 6 p.m. I think nobody's quite ready for this. You do this an hour and a half later, we'd all be ready, Coach Meister.
This is why you have tournament game one.
That's right.
Get the jitters out.
Get the jitters out. Both teams are on the floor. Starting lineups brought to you by Bryan Ford Lincoln. Bryan Ford Lincoln located at 920 North Main Street, where good values mean a great deal. On the floor for the Polar Bears, one senior, number 42, Ramiah Warren, joined by a couple of juniors, Morgan Johnson and J. Alexa Oxner. Then a sophomore, Keziah Marshall, and a freshman, Nadia Austin, who Coach is really big on.
This might be the most defensive tip I've ever seen.
I think Coach is pretty much giving up the ball to the Bears. Bears win the tip. The other four Polar Bears are already back in defense. It's like a 1-2-2 box zone. Fisher to Hepker. Penetration by Piper Hannah. Brea Hepker gets an easy look, can't get it to go, and then her follow won't go, but we've got a foul on Woodward, and that'll send Brea Hepker immediately to the Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, third generation, family owned, general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712.
Nice job by Piper Hannah. She split that zone with a dribble penetration, drew the back person up, and a nice dump off pass to Brea.
Since jumping into the starting lineup about halfway through the year, Hepker comes in averaging just a couple points a game. Her and Miley Ballmer sharing that spot. She was 4 of 8 from the free throw line before that, now 6 of 10. Bears go into some full court pressure. No one open for the Bears, and we'll get a quick 30-second timeout for Coach All's squad. So 7:43, we're about 17 seconds in here. First timeout burned by Toledo Woodward. A little trouble with the Bears full court pressure.
Yeah, I think his kids kind of got confused about it being a set out of bounds play. Everybody ran out of bounds and then ran inbounds. Typically you run that when you're getting pressure off a dead ball situation. So nice job by Coach Alls getting that 30-second timeout. Last thing you want to do is give up an easy basket this early in the game. We'll see if he can kind of get his kids calmed down, get right back into it.
Yeah, trying to save himself a turnover. Didn't want to give the Bears the ball back right away. So, like we said, it's an uphill battle for the Woodward tonight, but I think what we're going to see out of Coach Alls, based on what we saw in his write-up and everything else, is we're going to get everything he's got. He's going to get everything he can to his girls. Inbounds pass goes into Brea Hepker. She intercepts that pass. Bears in their half-court offense. Long skip, Avery and Fisher, 3 from the corner. Rattles around and comes out. That thing about brought some rain, and Woodward gets it across the timeline. Ball goes through a couple players' hands, as up top with number 40. Austin has it. She swings to 42. Warren, three-pointer on the way, no good on the backside. Rebound comes to Josie Arnold. She'll push. She's got a 2-on-1. Bounce pass,
nice
Brea Hepker, and finish off glass. Good pass from Arnold to Hepker.
Great look again, Bears, with that excellent dribble penetration and drawing that defense and dumping off to the open player.
Woodward trying to run streaks again, and we're going to get a 5-second call. Ramiah Warren just not able to get that into anybody before the 5-second call. We'll get a sub off the bench now. Malia Amps will check in for number 14, Jalexa Oxner. So now the Bears will have it underneath their own basket. Woodward sits in a zone. Arnold's going to try a right side 3. No good. Short off iron. Long rebound out to Woodward. Quick shot. 2 is no good. Rebound comes down to Amps. Then the ball gets poked away by the Bears. Avery and Fisher basically chasing the Woodward defender down the floor, and then that ball gets knocked out of bounds. A lot of contact there, no whistle. Bears will have it out of bounds underneath their basket.
I think in tournament play, you tend to get a little bit of a less of a whistle and definitely a much slower whistle.
Arnold inbounds up top. Fisher will try another 3, and that, same shot.
Yeah.
All the way around the rim and popped up. Same thing twice. Outlet pass gets down the floor. 15-footer chucked quickly. Woodward almost the last couple of times has been like, let's shoot it before we can turn it over. A couple of quick releases.
Yeah, not a bad theory, and they've actually been open shots.
They have. They've taken a couple of good-looking shots, actually.
You said Woodward's going to play hard. We know that. Those kids are going to give everything they have for 32 minutes. So Bears really need to, again, make sure they match that intensity.
Well, Langham went all the way to the basket. She tried to shoot through some contact. No whistle for her either. Ball went to the Bears. Bears got it across, the Polar Bears. They're going to have to go Woodward, I think.
Yes.
Woodward got it across the line. Ball got poked out of bounds by Josie Arnold, so Woodward will trigger it in from in front of the Bryan crowd on their end of the floor. Ball comes into Amps, gets poked around, picked up in the backcourt. I'm having a lot of trouble with numbers. It's tough to see that blue on the black jerseys. Looks like Austin, until I get to know the girls just by looking. Austin, she kicks it to Warren. Warren works baseline. Bush got down there, got a good look. Not able to get it to go. Josie Arnold comes down with the rebound. Working up the floor against Marshall. Crosses over up top. Skips to the corner to Piper Hand and throws it a little too high out of bounds. Turnover to the Bears.
Right look. Nice cross-court pass against that zone. Had her open just a tad high.
It's a little too tall. So now Woodward will inbound against the Bears' pressure. Ball thrown in here by Nadia Austin. Goes over the top to Amps, guarded by Fisher. She throws it up the floor and out of bounds. Ball will come back to the Bears. Arnold inbounds to Langham.
Bears have had success against this zone defensive dribble penetration. Let's see if they can go back to that. Nice entry pass.
Hepker by herself alone again. She's had a lot of free range down there. She's got all 6 for the Bears here early. 6-0 Bears lead on the main stop scoreboard. Polar Bears going to try another deep ball. That one connects on the run out. Too strong with the layup, though. Nice job that time. Good execution on the deep ball. Just couldn't get that to go. Arnold's going to try a 3 in transition. Long off back iron. Rebound down to Langham. Fish to Hannah, top of the key 3, and that one goes. Bears hit their 4th attempt at it. We're going to get a timeout here for Woodward, a 30-second timeout. We'll take it quick with them here on the Golden Bear, full timeout on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
Back at Bryan High School as Toledo Woodward comes out of their full timeout. Bears back to their full court pressure. Bears with a 9-0 lead at the 5:05 mark in the opening quarter here on the main stop scoreboard. Woodward's going to continue the sprint off the baseline. Another deep ball thrown. Piper Hannah goes up and high points like a good defensive back. Finds Josie Arnold left side. She'll try another 3 short off iron. Rebound from Langham to Hannah. Now Fisher top of the key. Little hesitation. Bounce pass. Hepker alone. Kick to Arnold. Back to Fisher. Another 3. Fisher short. Finds Josie Arnold, and she gets whacked in the arm on the putback, so shot no good, but she'll go to the Welding Construction free throw line. And I say if there's anything going on right now for the Bears, Woodward's got it packed in. There isn't a ton of room. Probably could stop the three-point shooting contest at any point here and just let's attack a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably something Coach Grosjean is going to have that conversation with them at some point. You hate to have them turn down wide open threes, but like you said, we've been so good at getting in the paint and getting open looks that it goes back to what we talked about all season, attacking inside out and not outside in.
Yeah, and you could almost run some continuity with some cutters through this probably, almost like a man concepts.
Yeah, great point.
Arnold's first free throw is good. Second free throw from the Welding Construction free throw line. That is good also. Arnold comes in averaging just over 11 points a game, shooting 76% from the line. Another deep ball thrown by Woodward, broken up by the cornerback, Piper Hannah. Ends up in Brea Hepker's hands, back to Hannah, to Langham. Langham attacks, kicks back to Hannah. She attacks at 15, gets it to Arnold, steps around some defense, takes a short jumper, won't go, but the rebound goes to Hepker off of a tap from Arnold. So the lead now, well, it was 13-0 Bears, but we've spotted Woodward 84, 80, 79. Okay, that must be a mistake. Everything's a little bit on the fritz. We're not used to starting, but we're not used to starting basketball games when there's daylight or something. I don't know what's going on. Woodward gets it inbound against the pressure. Amps throws it through Winter's hands and out of bounds. Another turnover for Woodward. Bears will bring it in. Woodward back to their 1-2-2. Josie Arnold into Hepker. There's the backside cut by Piper Hannah, nice and easy. Good movement there, nice ball movement. Let's take some high percentage shots like that for a while. 15-0 Bears with the lead.
It's good to see Piper Hannah score. When she scores, we are definitely a way better team, and she has that capability.
Thrown away deep again, picked off by Piper Hannah. She attacks, gets to about 8 feet, and buries the jump shot. Piper Hannah active here early. She's got 7 already in the 17-0 lead. And we're going to get a third timeout for Toledo Woodward. Timeouts tonight brought to you by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. S&S does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729 today. Coach Meister, let's help out Coach Alls a little bit. I don't know what we do. We've both been on the wrong side of some lopsided ones before. If I'm down in that huddle right now, if either one of us are there, what is some advice we can offer?
Here's what I like. If you watch them play, his enthusiasm is terrific. Him and his entire coaching staff have not stopped coaching. It'd be very easy to say, you know what, let's just let this clock run, not call timeouts. He's taken 3 timeouts in the first quarter. He's trying to walk his kids through situations. We've all built programs, but he's doing it on a level that we've never had to experience. You're right. We've all been taking our lumps. We've all had seasons that have been extremely difficult. We've all been beaten very badly. You coach long enough, it happens. But I think when you're talking about the level of experience that we've not had at this level, he's truly starting from scratch. So I applaud him and his staff for being as enthusiastic and willing to continue to teach as they are.
And I agree with that 100%. The second time out they called, assistant coach hopped right in the huddle, got the grease board out, and was intense and getting after him. They're not approaching this as, oh boy, I hope we just get through tonight. They're coaching. They want to get their girls ready to play some basketball.
Absolutely.
So Bears pull off the pressure a little bit, pick up at half court. Ball's across. Warren on the line. Can't get that one to go. Misses it off the left side. Fisher picks it up. Kicks to Langham, trailer, 4-3, no good. Tapped around on the backside, pulled down by Amps, tied up by Arnold. Jump ball will go to the Polar Bears. 3:19 left in the opening quarter. Bears up 17-0 here in the first quarter. Ball gets inbounded. Johnson bring it up, run into the trap. She throws it away to Josie Arnold. I'll tell you, with athletic ability like that, I don't know how you expect to throw a diagonal across the floor.
Good read by Josie. Saw it coming all the way, made a nice job of stepping in front.
That ball gets picked off also. The heave to half court, picked off by Langham. She gets it to Fisher. Poked away for a second, poked away again. Nice job defensively right there by Kasaya. She gives it up to Hannah. And Hannah's going to get hammered at the rim. Another foul for Woodward. That'll be 3 on them as a team. That foul's on number 44, Morgan Johnson. Just her first. So Piper Hannah goes to the Welling Construction free throw line. Piper Hannah's first free throw is up and good.
Really nice first quarter from Piper.
Miley Vollmer checks in for Brea Hepker. Jesse Kitston will check in for Amaya Langham. Hannah will get her second free throw. That free throw is long off back iron, tipped up top. Kitston picks it up. Josie Arnold all by herself, gets to the right elbow and knocks down a 15-footer. And that's a good decision right there. She's taken 3 threes, missed them all already, had a chance for another. Passed that up, shot fake, got to the right elbow and scored. Poked away by Kitston, good denial by her. Hannah to Fisher. Fisher, good pass, tried to sneak in a little wrap around to Kitston. Went through her hands, but Piper Hannah picks it up and she finishes off glass. And her great quarter continues. Bears 24-0 now with 2:11 left. That ball gets thrown into the middle. Warren picks it up. She gets fouled, and she's going to get a chance to shoot a couple of free throws here.
Nice job by Warren. Went strong through contact, got herself to the foul line. Chance for the Polar Bears to get on the board.
And Jesse Kitston gets whistled for that foul. So Ramaya Warren will go to the line. The only senior on the Polar Bear roster, so another little bit of a silver lining there, and there the Polar Bears are on the board. She's the only senior. A lot of young kids on this roster, 3 freshmen there. Coach has got a lot to work with, besides the fact that they're showing a lot of energy down there and doing a really good job of trying to keep the kids motivated and moving forward. Second free throw is up and good. So Bears lead now 24-2 on the main stop scoreboard, 2:05 left. Kitston pushes, kicks back to Arnold. This time she will take the 3, doesn't get that to go. Rebound, hustle, chased down by Fisher. Fisher to Hannah. She had the 3, pass it up. Now she's got Vollmer. Nice. Great little bounce pass. Miley Vollmer, the senior, gets on the board. Great pass by Piper Hannah.
Yeah, she's done a great job this quarter of recognizing when to shoot, when to dribble, penetrate, when to pass. Really nice job.
Austin's working against Jesse Kitston. Picks up her dribble up top. Bears in man-to-man deny. Ball gets poked away. Ends up in Vollmer's hands. Vollmer quickly to Hannah. To Kitston. Kidston back to Arnold. Arnold's jump shot is good. 28-point quarter for the Bears with still 1:18 left on the main stop scoreboard in the opening frame. Woodward brings it across. Kind of a chuck it there, and then we're going to get a double dribble. Minus the double dribble, it was a really excellent offensive move.
It was left hand.
Tough to defend.
Yeah.
A couple of subs into the game again. Emmy Miller checks in. And Amaya Langham back in as Fisher and Hannah will take a break. Last minute now of the opening quarter. Diagonal from Arnold to Kidston. Well, she might have got away with the walk a couple of times. I thought she walked when she caught it, and then she walked when she tried to stop. Whistle comes from the backside there. Turnover for the Bears. I think just 2 turnovers now for the Bears in the quarter. Been pretty clean sheet here so far. 57.3 left on the clock. 28-2 for Bears lead. 3 turnovers. I've been corrected. Usually I can remember that stuff off the top of my head better. Little turnaround jump shot doesn't go. Miley Vollmer diagonal to Arnold. Arnold tries to finish off glass, draws a little bit of contact. Got to be able to get that up and be physical enough to get your shot off in that situation.
Well, it's hard when you have 2 people pushing you through the mats. Actually, she's really come on strong at the free throw line this year. I don't want to curse her, but she is really mid-70s, upper 70s free throw percentage-wise for Josie.
Coming tonight shooting about 76%. Second trip tonight to the Welding Construction free throw line, and that shot is good. So Josie Arnold and Piper Hannah having good opening frames here score-wise. All of the Bears have been really solid on both ends. I think when we've moved the ball, we've been really good. Second free throw is up and good, so 10 now for Josie Arnold, 30 for the Bears. 28-point lead with 41 seconds left on the game clock. Ball kind of thrown away there. Hard to say who it was to, but the Polar Bears end up with it. Morgan attacks, shot doesn't go off glass, rebound to Kidston, 25 seconds left on the clock. Kidston quickly up to Arnold, finds a cutting Miley Vollmer, just can't get it high enough off glass, but she's fouled and she'll go to the line for a chance at a couple of free throws.
Really good ball movement, nice wing pass to get the defense spread out. Josie, nice little touch pass to Miley Vollmer with a good cut to the basket. Other than, again, it would have been nice to have a 3-point play. Still a real good cut by Miley. She just needs to finish this off now.
Senior shooting 61% from the free throw line, averaging 4 a game and 2 rebounds. First free throw is long off back iron for Vollmer. Second free throw coming now from the Welding Construction free throw line for Miley Vollmer. And that is good. 3 now for Vollmer early in the game. Marshall brings it across the half-court line, guarded by Arnold. Ball gets kicked around on the floor, and then it's going to be thrown out of bounds. Polar Bears got on the floor, tried to save it. It looks like Austin tried to get on the floor and save it. Went through Marshall's legs. So the Bears have 6.8 left here to try to get a final shot off. They're denying in the backcourt, but a couple of girls open in half-court. Kidston kicks to Vollmer, looks at the clock, goes baseline, runner off glass, doesn't go. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. But that'll be it for the first quarter. Pretty explosive first quarter for the Bears offensively. Did a lot of things right. 31-2 they lead on the main stop scoreboard. We're going to take a break, come back, and be ready for second quarter action here in OHSAA tournament action from Bryan.
Fallen on hard times? At the Williams County Veteran Service Office, we're here when life gets tough. We provide emergency financial assistance for housing, food, and utilities, plus transportation to VA medical appointments. Whether you need help today or just someone who understands, we're ready to serve. Please reach out to see what we can do for you, because the only veteran we can't assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
All right, back at Bryan High School, Lady Bears lead the Polar Bears 31-2 in tournament action tonight. On the floor for the Bears to start the second quarter, Piper Hanna, Avery Ann Fisher, Brea Hepker, Emmy Miller, and Kelsey Thiel back in the lineup for the first time since the Genoa game in December when she was injured, broke her wrist. She's worked her way all the way back into the lineup over a month later, so good to see Kelsey back on the floor.
Yeah, real good. That's nice. That gives us another body inside.
Fisher, shot fake, jump shot, uses the whole rim, gets it to fall. And the leading scorer for the Bears is on the board with the first bucket of the second quarter. That tells you how good things are going when you're leading by 30 at the end of one and your leading scorer has a goose egg.
Avery Ann wants to pick a night to not score a lot of points. This is a good night.
Probably the right call. She's carried the Bears a lot of this year, so if she wants to take a break, she's more than earned it. Comes in averaging 14, 6 boards. She was just voted second team All-League. Honorable mentions to Amaya Langham and Piper Hanna, and Josie Arnold gets a first team nod after being first team last year. Bears continue to work against Woodward's zone. Hepker kicks to Fisher. Fisher swing to Thiel. Hepker left elbow, kicks it out to Fisher. Hepker's probably going to have to look to shoot that 15-footer because that's the one that Woodward's given right now. Right there at the elbow. Good step around by Brea.
Nice.
Good strong move and finish off glass there. Sophomore looking really confident, make a good strong move, and she's got 10. Woodward will walk it up against the half-court defense of the Bears. Boy, a really nice move. Nadia Austin got it all the way to the rim and then just fumbled it out of bounds, but a really nice job by her getting to the basket.
Yeah, 5'7" freshman, very quick.
And Coach was big on her in his pregame in the notes that he sent. He likes what the freshman's done this year. He called her his floor general. So probably a kid that he's going to work on hard over the next couple of years to try to help her gain some confidence and some skill. Miller, nice job sneaking that pass in there and a good catch by Hepker. Man, that didn't go. Follow doesn't go by Hepker. Emmy Miller tips it out, chased down by Avery Ann Fisher behind the back. Works baseline. She ran out of room there, kind of got bailed out a little bit by the Woodward foul because she picked up the ball to make a pass, so there was no one to throw it to. We're going to get a foul on the floor. First one of the quarter for the Bears. That goes against Alyssa Pasco, 5'9" junior for Woodward. Bears to inbound. Fisher, left corner three. No good off front iron again. So if there's one thing that has not gone well for the Bears tonight, it's been three-point shooting. Fisher down to Hepker. Just needs to shoot that ball. Fisher works left elbow, back to Hepker again. Hepker drop step. Nice move. Great move by Brea Hepker right there. Been watching Coop Ballmer play a little bit on Friday night for the boys basketball team.
Brea, great move. She showed that little left quarter dip and then drop step right. Nice power layup. That is a tremendous post move by the sophomore.
Woodward back into their half-court offense. Yeah, the boys, I've been impressed. Cooper Ballmer and Tucker Watson, a varsity and JV player, have really gotten good with their post moves this year. And kind of showed right there, Brea may have been paying attention. Good ball movement. Fisher attacks, 4 or 5 footer, a lot of contact. Avery Ann Fisher's not going to airball too many shots from 6 feet. There's a little bit of somebody running through her right there, so she'll go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. That foul was on Pasco again, so she picks up a couple quick ones for Coach All's squad. First free throw here for Avery Ann Fisher. Up and good. Avery Ann Fisher has been good at just about everything her first 2 years here at the varsity level, but shooting free throw has been one of them, shooting 75% on the year. We got a couple more subs in for the Bears. Thiel and Miller check out. Emma Slagle's going to get some early first half varsity minutes here. Had a really good JV season. Piper Hanna checks back in for the Bears. Or sorry, Jody Arnold better not check in.
If she checks in, I'm questioning some eligibility rules.
Well, And maybe some other things on that sideline. Piper Hanna's three doesn't go. Brea Hepker, why not? Take another. Brea Hepker, take all you can get really good at finishing around the rim. That's something that can help her tonight, is some confidence around the basket, as she's got 14.
Bears done a nice job hitting the offensive boards tonight.
We're going to get a foul up top on Emma Slagle, defending Nadia Austin, the freshman. Woodward will have it out of bounds on the far sideline in front of the Bryan crowd. 4:49 left here in the second. Bears lead 40-2 on the Main Stop scoreboard. Main Stop's open when you need them. Remember, Thirsty Thursday every Thursday. Pasco picks up her dribble, looks around, and then has to try to give it up. Throws it to Piper Hanna. Oh. Boy, a great high off the glass left-hand finish by Piper Hanna. Through pretty good defense there by the Woodward defender that ran with her. That looked like Johnson running beside her.
Yeah, not only was it the offhand, but she kept it out and away from the defender and laid it up. That's a terrific offensive move.
High and soft off glass. That's impressive. Austin picks up her dribble up top. Tries to throw it to the sideline. Josie Arnold may get an assist out of this. I think from the early days of basketball, one of the things you don't do is save it underneath the other team's basket. But that girl was wide open, so Josie thought it'd be nice.
If only someone would have taught her that in third grade.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
I would imagine TJ would have yelled that at her at some point or another.
That's a lot goes on him right there, honestly.
I think that's a breakdown in some fundamental basketball. That free throw for the Polar Bears is up and good. It gets them to 3 points. That free throw by Morgan Johnson. Talked about her before. Just a junior. She averaged 6 points and 11 rebounds. So a really nice season for the Polar Bears. Knocks down. It's not going to get that second free throw. Stepped across the line. Pretty sure she might have on the first one also, but I don't think anybody was watching the first one. But we're going to catch the second one. So take that one off the board. 42-3, the Bears lead. Just about the 4-minute mark here, halfway through the second quarter. Coach Grosjean barks out some orders. Wants to see a little bit of offense here. Langham penetrates, kicks to Hepker in the block. Fisher, three, no good. Rebound comes down, tie up will go to the Polar Bears. That was Austin and Hepker battling for that. Amps will check back in for the Polar Bears and get Holmes. Fisher's going to get a break as Miley Vollmer checks back in for the Bears. Two seniors, a junior, and a couple sophomores on the floor for the Golden Bears right now. Amps will bring it across, working against Miley Vollmer. Throws it to the wing to Austin. Austin's pass gets deflected by Miley Vollmer, will go out of bounds. She's laughing at herself because she tried a little bit of a bluff there. Like, what are you talking? I didn't touch that. That wasn't me. Austin will inbound. Nobody's really helping her out. Nobody's coming to the ball. Looked like everybody's running away from the ball. Pasco finally chases it down in half court. Morgan swings it. Morgan back up top with it. Back over to Austin. Austin defended by Slagle. Gets it knocked out. Ball's on the floor. And then it's going to get tied up, and we're going to get a travel call. I think at some point there just had to be a mercy whistle right there.
Yeah,
Austin got caught with it on the floor. He couldn't go anywhere with it. Teammates kind of ran away from her.
Yeah.
So she didn't really have much she could do with it. So the Bears will inbound after the turnover. Langham will walk it across half court. Gets it to Vollmer inside. Pushes to the block. Tries to kick to Arnold. Got poked back to her. Arnold to Langham. Her three. Plenty of time. Eyeballs it. Can't get it to go. Chased down by Hepker. Now Vollmer's got it. She'll dribble in, take the 10-footer, can't get it to go. Scramble for the ball in the corner. And the ball goes out of bounds off of Josie Arnold as the Bears will get another sub here. Jesse Kidston checks in for Emma Slagle. And Woodward will bring it against some half-court Bears pressure.
Yeah, you know, regardless of the score, this is the type you still have to execute defensively here. You still have to stay solid. It's very easy to start getting some bad habits here, trying to get out and get steals, put yourself out of position. And as hard as a coach, I mean, Coach Grosh, you guys as kids, you have to play solid positional defense.
Miley Vollmer with the double team up there. Good example of that. Came over to help, picked Warren's pocket. Layup doesn't go, but who's there to clean it up but Brea Hepker. Game high 16 points for the sophomore. Finishing good around the basket, and I know that's something that she likes to see and the coaches like to see.
Absolutely.
Austin tries to get it into Morgan on the block. Gets poked away by Hepker. Look at this, and Coach Grosjean, you really got to question him freezing his best scorer right now. That's, I don't know. We're going to have to have a question about that later.
Very questionable sub.
Maybe.
Be a post-game question for him.
Let's make sure we write that one down. Hepker gets a break as Carly McDade comes in.
Handcuffed her.
Shot goes off the top of the backboard, comes into Carly McDade. She runs out and had to call that one. She got hammered pretty hard right at the rim by Morgan. Sorry, check that, Morgan Johnson. Morgan Johnson will pick up her second, Woodward's third. And that'll put Carly McDade at the line for the Bryan Golden Bears. We're going to go deep into the roster tonight, I think, Coach Meister, so we won't have as many numbers as far as varsity stats goes for these girls, but Carly McDade had a fantastic freshman season for the JV team. Got better and better as the year went on. As Emmy Miller checks in for Josie Arnold.
And kids like her, it's really nice to see they're getting rewarded in a tournament game, because, I mean, this is exciting for her. This is a really cool thing.
Second free throw, no good, but Vollmer picked it up, dribbled it on the end line, so Woodward will get the ball. 2:19 left here in the first half. Bears lead 44-3. Woodward with 3 team fouls, with the Bears with 2. Nobody should end up shooting bonus here. Bears just playing some good half-court defense. Nice job by Emmy Miller. She cut the lane off, just couldn't catch the ball, kind of knocked it out, and then takes it right away. Nice job, took it right away from Marshall. Rim, left hand, no good. Ball poked out of bounds by the Polar Bears. So Jessie Kidston will inbound underneath the Bears basket. Kelsey Thiel will check back in for Amaya Langham. So Thiel back on the floor again. Kidston inbound to Miller. Miller back into Kidston. Kind of got it in a tough spot right there. And good idea by Emmy Miller, trying to go right back to the inbounder, but Kidston hadn't even got out from behind the backboard yet. So kind of stuck in a tough spot. Bailed out there by a reach foul on Austin. So now 4 on Woodward. If there is another, the Bears will go to the line. Vollmer to Kidston to Thiel. Her 3 off glass and rim no good. Ball picked up by Woodward. Marshall brings it across against Emmy Miller. She remembered the stiff arm, forgot the basketball, went back for the basketball. McDade doing a nice job. We're gonna get a block called on Emmy Miller. Working against Ramaya Morgan. That'll be Miller's first, Bears third. 1:35 left here in the opening quarter as Woodward will take the ball out of bounds on the sideline.
Nice job by Warren. Went to the basket with authority and strength, drew the contact. Nice little spin move there.
Woodward they struggle a little bit with the inbounds because there's not a whole lot of movement. They're not tough to defend. As there, Warren gets it down again. What? She's physical and aggressive, I'll give her that much. Jessie Kidston takes a rebound down, looks up the floor, quick pass to Miller. Miller got that one out after a little bit of contact, went halfway up the standard, but she will go to the Welling Construction free throw line for a couple of free throws. Emmy Miller comes in 2 of 10 from the free throw line on the season. Averages a point and a rebound on the year. Was a limited varsity sub early, then started to get some good JV minutes late in the year. Really, the JV needed some help, so Emmy went down, helped out with them as a junior, did a nice job, and I think was able to get better with the minutes that she played at the JV level.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of times where juniors in her situation, this is what happens. They earn some more minutes, and really, she becomes a huge advantage to use next year for Coach Grosjean.
Absolutely. Now she's got some time on the floor. She didn't sit and watch a lot of ball. She played ball. So whether she's in that first 5 or she's in the top 8 in the rotation, she's got some experience under her belt. First free throw was no good. Second free throw up and good for Emmy Miller. Gets her on the scoreboard. 45-3, 1:19 left here in the second quarter. Bears stay in their half-court man, picking up at the line. Oh, my, and there we're going to get We're going to get the stiff arm there by Keziah Marshall. I don't think anybody in the NFL would question that stiff arm, let alone in the gym tonight. I'm not sure what she's pleading her case about. Maybe she wanted her to fly farther. I'm not sure.
Nice job by Coach Alls right away.
Yep,
See, he got her out. And he's not yelling. He's not screaming. He's talking to her. And he's trying to instruct. He's trying to teach. And again, it's all about building, and that's what he's really doing a nice job of tonight.
Jessie Kidston knocks down the long two for the Bears, gets herself on the board. Jessie Kidston, another player who had a really good JV campaign. I think she was a better basketball player for all the minutes. When Bree Richmond went down, she was forced to handle the ball a lot more than I think even what she was comfortable with, and did a good job with it. And I think she got better. Those are skills that she's going to need the next couple of years at the varsity level, and that's going to pay off for the Golden Bears. Ball out of bounds off of the Bears. Woodward inbounds, fumbled out of Warren's hands, goes to Miller. Jump stop in the lane, no good off glass. Kelsey Thiel's there. Her first bucket since before Christmas. Good for Kelsey Thiel.
Good to see her score and get on the board. Nice to see her back on the floor.
Little smile on her face. That's a long time. It's no fun to be hurt. It's no fun to go through rehab, be on the fringes of everything that's going on. Great to see her get a chance to be back on the floor here at the end of the year before things ended. For the second time tonight, the Bears save it inbound underneath their own basket. Charity is in the air. McDade tipped it into Woodward, but they couldn't make the jumper. Slagle, three, all the way around and didn't drop. And that's how the half will end right there at 49-3. The Bears lead Woodward here in the opening round of the sectional tournament for the OHSAA.
She got the shooter roll from Hoosiers.
She had it. She got a good look. Had a chance to knock one down. It just couldn't get that thing to drop.
All the way around the rim.
And out. Well, Coach Meister, 46-point lead for the Bears. Here's the good things. We stay completely serious and look at this basketball game as we head towards the break here. We're going to come out and we're going to have a running clock. Yep. Coach Grosstein's probably not going to expend any starters at this point. I doubt if we see any of the first 5-6 players on the Bears roster. We've played JV kids here in the second quarter. We're going to play. We still have a few more at the end of the bench that haven't gotten in yet. So kids are going to get a chance to play. The last time you're in the gym for the season until you open up next year. So, get a chance to get some girls on the floor. And then I think at this point you can start thinking a little bit about that Saturday night game at St. Mary's and, making sure you stay healthy. Making sure, I think, in the first half you worked on some stuff. Negative for the first half was we didn't shoot the three very good. Correct. Didn't need it, but we didn't shoot it very good. So you can look at it one of two ways. We either saved them and we didn't give up any, or we're going to make sure that that's something that we really stress this week in practice, because we go down to St. Mary's, I think they mixed a little bit of man and zone, but we used that outside shot to our advantage against them the first time we played them. Yeah,
we talked about what a tough situation Coach Alls is in. And again, this is going to sound a little silly, but if you just hear me out, this is a really tough game to coach in when you're the winning team, because there is such a talent gap of the two teams right now. If you're Coach Grosstein, you don't want to run it up, but you've got a tournament game to play on Saturday, so you want to keep your kids in the flow. You don't want them to develop bad habits. They get every open shot they want, so you don't want them to turn down open jump shots. At the same time, you also don't want to score at will, because you're going to. And for the officials, it's tough because you don't want to blow every whistle, but you want to keep it under control. So it's just difficult. But jumping back to what you said, we do need to make those open shots against St. Mary's. But sometimes in games like this, it's a little tough because you're so open. You've never been that open all season. And so it's just different. And so, again, this is that fine line of you want to execute. Maybe you go, hey, we don't want to settle for the first shot. We want to make 7 passes before we shoot. Those are little things to try to do. But I'm like you. I don't think we see our starters much in the second half. And we get our young kids some time and, again, get out of this healthy.
All right, well, Brian Arnold and Tim Meister bringing the action here from Bryan High School. 49-3, the Bears lead at the half. We're going to take a break. We'll come back, talk some stats, and get ourselves ready for some second half action here from Bryan.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
If you served, you may qualify for VA health care, even if you were denied before. New rules recognize burn pit and toxic exposure claims. We can help you apply, understand benefits, and access the care you've earned. Let us help protect your health. Today and for the future, contact us to see how we can help. Williams County Veterans Service Office. Veterans serving veterans.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Brian Arnold and Tim Meister back at Bryan High School bring you this tournament action. We want to thank our sponsors who are helping bring this game to you tonight. I haven't been able to speak since we started this thing tonight. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, the Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. So, Coach Meister, we got some stats that we want to talk about here for tonight's ball game.
Yeah, we'll get the stats up here. We'll take a look at that. Let's go first for the Woodward Bears. They were 0 for 13 from the floor, 0 for 11 from the 2, 0 for 2 from the 3. Their 3 points came from the free throw line, going 3 for 4. 21 turnovers. You said they had a really difficult time inbounding the ball. Then once they got it across half court, that difficulty did not cease much, and 8 rebounds. For the Bears, 18 for 43 from the floor, 17 for 29 from the 2. Just 1 for 14 from the 3. Again, that's happened to them throughout the course of the year. We talked about it, maybe getting some different looks of threes they're not used to tonight. Hopefully the second half they can improve on that. 10 for 17 from the free throw line. Bears only turned it over 4 times, which is outstanding. 28 rebounds, and they've gotten 6 points from their bench. We take a look at some individual scoring. For Toledo Woodward, Morgan Johnson with 1, and Ramea Warren leads them with 2. The Bryan Golden Bears, Emmy Miller with 1, Carly McDade with 2, Kelsey Steele with 2, Miley Ballmer with 3, Avery Ann Fisher with 3, Josie Arnold with 10, Piper Hanna with 12, and Brea Hepker with 16. We talked a little bit about this during the course of the game, but it's nice when you get Hepker and Hanna and they start to score. Man, when you have 5 kids on the floor that can get you double figures, really good offense, makes it tough on a defense to try to shade someone, to play a box and 1, something different. I like the fact those 2 kids have scored.
Yeah, when I look at the individual side of this, it's been really good to watch Piper Hanna get a chance to score some buckets, and I think she's been doing a great job penetrating, and she's got some assists to go with it. Besides the steal, she's filling the stat sheet tonight. Brea Hepker has been finishing and around the basket. She's gotten shots around the basket a lot this year, and finishing has sometimes been an issue, but she's a sophomore, been in varsity action for the first time. Hopefully something like this, even if it's relatively easy, is something where she gets into that rhythm of, oh, okay, this is how you do it. This is how I remember it being around the basket, and then that propels her a little bit going forward. And then I've been happy with the way that we've tried to get some mid-range stuff. We've been shooting. We didn't, after we had, well, we were cold the entire time, but after we were just trying threes early, we decided to try to get the ball inside, try to attack the paint, and we've been much better from that perspective.
Yeah, that's a great point about Brea Hepker. A young player, first year varsity, that term becomes confidence, and I don't care what game it is in. You know, like you said, offensive rebounds. She sees that ball, goes to the basket. Then she continues. She made a couple of really nice post moves. That confidence is something that can really turn a young kid around, especially in a tournament atmosphere.
All right, well, those were the stats from the first half from tonight's ball game. Bears lead 49-3. We're inside 3 minutes here. Teams on the floor getting ready for second half action. You can see the bracket there before we take one more final break. You can see the winner of tonight's game will go to St. Mary's for a 6 o'clock start on Saturday night. Earlier in the day, Kent will be at Lima Bath, my apologies, for a 2 o'clock start. And then you can see where those winners will be out into the Miller City District at that point. 7:30 start on February 24th. Action in the top part of our bracket. Bellevue and Lexington are playing tonight. We'll see if we get an update on that score at some point. Bellevue comes in as a clear favorite. Right now, it's a favorite to go back to state at 22-0, coming off of a state championship. Lexington just 2-20 on the year. And right now, pretty similar in Bellevue. They lead Lexington 64-7 at the half. They've hit 12 three-pointers, and their leading scorer is C.J. Savage. She's got 14. So Bellevue continues to roll, shooting the ball really well in their game against Lexington, a school familiar with the Bears. We've run into them the past 3 years in softball at the regional level. So a name that's pretty familiar to Bryan Lady Bear sports fans. So we'll take one more break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network, and we'll be back with second half action right after this.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Allie Held Herman is a 2004 Bryan graduate and former Lady Bear basketball player. Allie tragically passed away in 2021, but she saved the lives of many others through organ donation. Allie's family encourages you to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor.
Our mom gave the gift of life. She is a hero. We love you, Mom.
All right, back at Bryan High School, 28 seconds away from starting second half action here. The Lady Bears will have the ball to start the half. I want to remind you that no one covers William County sports like 100.9 B-Rock, and follow the Bryan Golden Bears all season long on Q96.5. Listen on air, online, or WBNO, WQCT.com. And as Coach Meister and I are very used to, we were wrong, because the Lady Bear starters are on the floor to start the second half here. Josie Arnold, Avery Ann Fisher, Amaya Langham, Piper Hanna, and Brea Hepker. Now, I do not imagine that will last very long. We will start with a running clock. Bears lead by 46.
Yeah, and I think at this point, I understand what Coach Grosjean is doing, because you don't want to put your kids in an awkward, unfamiliar situation, because your starters have started the third quarter all season. I agree totally with what he's doing. I don't expect us to play our starters real long. If we do, we'll sit down and play half-court defense. We'll, again, not try to push offensively. I think he just wants to keep them into a regular, normal type of thought process heading into Saturday.
And you don't run into this situation very often, so it's not like you've been there, done that, or anything. You know, if you want to call Casey Moeller and ask him how to do that, that's one thing. But we're not used to these big leads at the half in girls basketball or any basketball, as Amaya Langham comes in and knocks down the first three of the night for her.
You know, it's funny. I've had a conversation with Casey. I know him really well, and that's one of the things he says he gets really concerned about is when they get in the playoffs, probably 9 of their 10 regular season games, the starters only played half a game. You know, sometimes he gets concerned about lack of reps or playing close games. So you're right, it's difficult.
And I remember that being an issue when Mike Vickers coached at Delta and had his really good teams with Kamick and Spangler and Nagel, who is going to be the new head coach who played on those teams. Those guys were loaded, and for a lot of the NWOAL or preseason, you know, those early season games, those guys were out by the second half, even before running clock. So he was always worried about conditioning and sharpness as he got to the end of the year. A turnover there for the Bears. Josie Arnold got caught between steps after the Bears got a steal. She traveled on that end. So, and then we got another turnover by Woodward. So 6:50 left. We've gone a minute 10 here into the second half. Bears with the 52-3 lead. Woodward stays in that 1-2-2 zone. Fisher at the right elbow. 2 dribbles around, layup off glass, up and good. And a little adjustment right there by the Bears at the half. They said, let's put Avery Ann Fisher at the high post, because they keep getting that look from 15 feet, and if somebody's going to give you that, you can kill them.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice strong move by Avery Ann. Stayed on balance, played off 2 feet. Really nice.
That was the second foul on Nadia Austin, the freshman from Woodward. Fisher with 5 points, now 6 as she gets that free throw to roll around and go. Amps will bring it across for Woodward, working against Fisher. Fisher's trying to take away that right hand. Amps. Now it's up top to Morgan. Morgan swings it to, can't see a number on her. That's not 50, maybe it's 0. Humbertson.
20. Number 20.
Number 20. Oh, we don't have a 20, so she's not allowed to be 20.
Old number 20.
Old number 20's on the floor. Shot by Woodward, no good. Pulled down by Fisher, pushes hard, kicks to Hepker, passes up the 3.
Oh, nice.
Wide open lane to the basket. Not going to get any easier than that. And Brea Hepker finishes off glass. 18 for the sophomore, 57-3 lead for the Lady Bears.
Nice read by Brea. I think one Woodward girl is going to switch, the other didn't. Brea saw the lane. And again, didn't over dribble. 2 strong, hard dribbles right to the basket. Good offensive move by Brea.
Austin is going to get whistled for the offensive foul. I think she was trying to screen, but she grabbed Piper Hanna's arm instead. And they're all 5 starters. They were given a couple possessions, got a couple of minutes, and now those 5 starters will come off. That'll be the last we see them tonight. Josie Arnold will leave the floor for the last time as a Golden Bear on her home floor. And on the floor now for the Bears, Kelsey Thiel, Jesse Kidston, Emmy Miller, Emma Slagle, and Miley Vollmer. Slagle bounce passes into Vollmer. Vollmer draws a little bit of contact, can't get the bunny to go. Rebound comes down to Humbertson. She hands it over to Johnson. Good defense by the Bears. Poked away by Miley Vollmer. Nice job. Takes it away from Marshall. Up quickly to Thiel now. Thiel picks up her dribble. Hands to Slagle. 15-footer right wing. Buried it. Good shot in rhythm by Emma Slagle. Her first bucket of the night. 59-3, the Bears lead. Inside 4 minutes now in the third. Running clock's going to continue. The only way it would stop is if there's some kind of injury, a timeout, or if it gets under 30 points. And I don't think there's any danger of that anytime soon as Miley Vollmer picks that off and picks off another back-to-back. Oh, she missed that layup. Stayed back and picked that pass off. I think there was a little bit of divine intervention on keeping that layup out of the rim.
Yeah.
And we're going to get another foul on Woodward for a moving screen. It is on number 20, but I don't have a 20, so 20 is going to be 0, Samantha Humbertson. That way, if it's not Samantha Humbertson, she doesn't have to feel bad. She's not even doing anything wrong. This girl can just run around willy-nilly, do whatever she wants.
Like that DiCaprio movie where he just pretended to be everybody else.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can.
Catch me if you can, yeah. That's what we got right now.
She's DiCaprio.
And they just caught her. Miley Vollmer, the other senior for the Bears who's getting minutes, checks out of the game probably for her last time as a Golden Bear as well on her home floor. Kelsey McDade, right elbow, kicks to Jesse Kidston, swings it to Emmy Miller. Emmy Miller penetrates, kicks to Thiel, right side, bounce pass to Slagle, and she gets hit. Little nickel dimer on the baseline.
Little touch foul.
Emma Slagle will go to the free throw line. Not sure she's got any varsity free throws in the book. This could be her first trip to the line this year at the varsity level. That was the 4th foul on old number 20. She's making do with the time that she's got. She's just gotten her minutes here in a running clock, third quarter, picked up 4 fouls pretty quick. Slagle's first free throw is good. Second free throw, no good from the Welling Construction free throw line. Rebound comes out, kicked around a little bit by Marshall. Picked up her dribble, ran a couple more steps, took another dribble. Shot was no good, and then the follow does not go for Woodward. Rebound comes down to Miller. Miller gets the ball poked away at half court. We've got a sub come to the table now. 2 subs at the table for the Bears. Josie Cordy and Chloe Wallace will check in for Kidston and Miller. 1:25 on the running clock, 62-3 lead for the Bears. Josie Cordy brings it up against Austin. Swings it to Slagle in the corner. Tries to get it to McDade and can't. Wallace finds her. McDade works to the left block. Gets drilled in the back of the head by number 20.
I think that's 5 on DiCaprio.
They caught her. Those were 5 of the most legitimate fouls I've ever seen in real life. And she did that all in a running clock quarter, and there's still 50 seconds left. And I will say that as I won't say proud father, if somebody could foul people with the best of them for their entire life, I've never seen anything like that.
Never. And none of them were dirty fouls. Just
no, they're
playing
just
hard. She was just trying to go through people.
Super aggressive. Yeah, but she earned them. I'm going to peek down to the bench there. Maybe they broke out the post-game snack, and she just wanted to get started early.
Her and Coach Alls are having a little chuckle down there. I'm sure he reminded her that.
That'll be a good story.
It will be.
Maybe that'll be her senior night story. Both free throws up and good for Carly McDade.
A good move.
Right side, real good move. Kelsey Thiel pulls it out. Josie Cordy's got it. Clock runs down here in the third, and that's the way it will end. 64-3, the Bears lead at the end of 3 quarters here from Bryan. We'll take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network and come back and finish this ball game here in tournament action.
The historic Bryan Arts and Education building is being renovated for the next generation, transforming it into a welcoming, accessible space where performances and events can be comfortably enjoyed. The $6.2 million project adds lobby and backstage space, new seating, lights and sound system, accessibility, and additional parking. Because here in Bryan, art connects us. Your support, big or small, makes a lasting impact, inspiring generations to come. Donate and learn more at bryanarts.org.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
All right, ready to start fourth quarter action here in Bryan. Woodward will have the first possession. Subs all over the place on pretty much both sides of the floor. Still a couple of starters out there. Woodward's not fortunate to have a real deep bench. Still trying to get some work out of some girls as Warren and Austin, Johnson. We're here a 5-second call, and Austin was standing by herself in the backcourt. I'm not quite sure. No, we're going to get a timeout instead. Coach Alls was able to pick up the timeout, fortunately. He's going to take a full timeout. Timeout's brought to you tonight by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. S&S does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729. So we finish up our timeout here at Bryan. Bears will come back on the floor. Toledo Woodward will still have the ball.
I need number one's name. I don't know. Oh, for us? Yes. Gotcha.
Woodward will have it on the side, going left to right on your radio dial. Oh, they just did the same out of bounds play. They just ran 4 verts off the sideline, get the ball inbounds. Ooh, another strong offensive screen there. Allie Elkins getting her molars rearranged there. Morgan's got it inside, left hand, doesn't go off glass. Scramble for the ball, comes down to Woodward. Another rebound to Woodward, and she's fouled. Can't get it to go off. Back iron, so Ramaya Warren will go to the line. I think right now the youngsters for Bryan are going to have to find some physicality.
Yeah, nice job by the Polar Bears. They're standing there, hanging in, fighting, going to the offensive boards. Getting rewarded here, 2 free throws.
First free throw for Warren is good at the line. Bears now lead 64-4. Clock counting down to 7 minutes left in the ball game. And that air ball doesn't touch anything, so possession will go to the Bears. Coach Alls is getting his Bears into a little bit of full court pressure here now against the youngsters from Bryan.
I like it. I like the fact he's getting the kids to play hard and pick up full court.
Chloe Wallace gets it into Carla McDade, ahead to Allie Elkins. Back to Chloe Wallace, swing to Cordy. The corner for the Bears, Ashira Chisala for the Bears took it in. She was hit, didn't get the call. Ashira came into the program about halfway through the year for the Golden Bears. Moved in to the district from Indiana. So she's been kind of learning on the fly, figuring out the program, figuring out the system. I know the coaches and the players really enjoy having her around. They've been real excited to have her.
It's got to be exciting for her to get on the floor in tournament action as well.
Great teammate. Obviously, I get some inside information every now and then, and you know it's not easy coming into school new anyway.
Right.
At any level, junior high or high school, and you come in as the new kid. You're used to being around a little bit of a bigger area. She didn't know why we didn't have Chick-fil-A and Cane's and Chipotle, where you didn't have to drive for half an hour.
I think those are legitimate questions, though.
Those are great. We asked the same thing. She also. Dad had to leave early for work one day, didn't have a ride. She called for an Uber and didn't know why it was going to take for an hour for the Uber to get to her. One of two free throws go for Carly McDade.
One of the things you and I have seen, it's one of the great things about sports. A kid like that moves in new, she's associated with a team. It just kind of helps them acclimate them. Instant base gets them back into the school. So it's, again, those are things about athletics that are really cool.
Yeah, but she's got a group of friends now that she may not have had otherwise. You know, meeting kids in class. Plus, you get 20 automatic friends when you become part of a team like this. Yep. Allie Elkins, runner, no good, short off front iron. Ball gets batted around, ends up in Casala's hands. Now it's out to Josie Cordy, who works through a lot of contact. McDade's dribble drive taken away. Elkins three, no good. Top of the key, chased down by Cordy. Cordy back to Elkins, swings it to Wallace. McDade left elbow, one dribble. Nice job, nice. Gets fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Nice strong move with the offhand.
Yeah, and that foul was on Warren. That'll be her fourth. Team second. 4:27 and counting here with the running clock in the fourth quarter. Bears with a 65-4 lead. Carly McDade looking to add to her 5-point total on the night. Seeing some good varsity action. That free throw is nothing but the bottom of the net.
Nice. Very nice. Good for her.
I said it earlier. I watched Carly play some varsity soccer this fall, and I was impressed. She's going to be a nice part of the softball program, if not this year, definitely in the future. And basketball-wise, I think there's some big things ahead of her. She's gotten strong. She's gotten very good at handling the ball. She's gotten good at shooting and being around the basket. I think she's going to do good things for this program the next couple of years.
This is where getting to play a tournament game like this, that just is a great motivator for kids over the summer. They get a little bit of taste of it. They're going to get a tournament win, go and play what will probably be a great atmosphere on Saturday night. And those are the kind of things that make programs like Coach Grosjean continue to grow.
Foul there by Allie Elkins. Woodward will inbound. Good action by them. Three-pointer, no good off back iron. Austin got a good look at it, couldn't get it to go. Carla McDade pulls down the rebound on the backside. She gets bumped from behind. And that foul is on 32. 32, Amora Winters. Just her first. 3 now for Woodward. Got one more to give, but they just gave it. So that'll be the 4th foul for Woodward right there. A little too aggressive against the inbound. Coach Hall is going to talk to Winters. I like that I'm the same as Coach, probably saying the same thing. I like that you're going for the ball, like you're playing hard. Don't go through the player. Go find the basketball. So another foul here will put the Bears on the line with 2:39 and counting. McDade handles it in the backcourt, gets it to Wallace. Wallace across the timeline to Josie Cordy. Right corner to Allie Elkins. She gets it down on the block to Carly McDade. Nice job backing her defender down. Trying to get it through a little bit of contact. And she's going to draw that whistle down there and end up on the block, or onto the free throw line.
Yeah, I think he's got a good point. He's asking why it wasn't 3 seconds. I was kind of thinking that the whole time.
Long time down there.
Yeah.
So now McDade will get 2 more free throws. Been to the line a lot here just in this short time. She's got 7 points, chance to add to the total again. She knocks that one down. So Coach Meister, 150 left here. The Bears are going to go to St. Mary's on Saturday night.
Yep.
I was down there earlier this year. We didn't broadcast the game. We were there to watch the game. Bears led every second of that game until the last second of that game. St. Mary's hit a free throw with under 1 second left that put them up. Bears not able to do anything with it with 0.7 left on the clock. And what should have been a big win in the district and a win just in general against a good St. Mary's team was lost.
And that was a game they led by a relatively large margin, like 13, 14 plus.
I think they were up as much as 16 in the third, and they were up 10 to start the fourth quarter. And really, I think something that they're going to hear a lot the next 2 or 3 days is handle the pressure. Handle the pressure. Bears have a lot of guards. We've got a lot of guards. We've got a lot of kids who can handle the basketball. And we went into a mode in that fourth quarter where we just wanted to throw the ball over. We wanted to throw long diagonals. And St. Mary's hit a couple big shots and just kept turning us over and getting momentum and getting momentum. And it was a crazy game to watch. So I think Bears going back down there, maybe a chance to exercise some demons, because that one was one that hurt in the moment. Hurt you a little bit later tournament-wise, though. I mean, we still got a home game tonight. We're still playing somebody in the next round that we have a chance to beat. So maybe find a way to make it work in our benefit. And Allie Elkins gets a varsity point with a free throw there.
Great job by Allie Elkins.
20 seconds left here.
I think it's something the Bears can lean on last year's situation with Napoleon. They got beat early in the season, had a chance to play him again in the tournament. Lean on that experience. Hopefully the same thing can happen with St. Mary's.
Turnover there by Woodward, and we are at 3-2-1, and time will run out on this one here at Bryan High School.
Coach All's going to get a timeout with 0.5.
Coach All's called a timeout. Going to take a full timeout.
His assistant coach has harassed him. I've never seen an assistant coach harass a varsity coach about calling timeout with 0.5.
So we're going to stay here long enough to see Woodward inbounded. We're going to shake hands, and then we're going to be, in the famous words of Bill Belichick, will be on to St. Mary's.
On to St. Mary's. Did Bill Belichick play St. Mary's?
No, but if he had, he would have said on to St. Mary's. We'll get it inbounded here by the Polar Bears. Check that. It's going to be inbounded by the Lady Bears into Wallace. The clock runs out, and the ball game is now officially over. Lady Bears win it 69-4 over Toledo Woodward, and what we do think was the first matchup. Chris Malanga did some good digging on that today, and honestly, I don't know who wants to go through all those yearbooks. So we're just going to say that this was the first meeting between the two teams, and it goes big to the Lady Bears. So we're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. We're going to work on putting some stats in, talk quickly about this one. We're going to put this one to bed. We'll talk about Saturday, what's coming up with St. Mary's. Hopefully get a chance to talk to Coach Grosjean about what's coming up here on the weekend for the Lady Bears. We'll be right back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
All right, back at Bryan High School here. We want to thank our sponsors one more time as the girls played their last home game of the season and move on in the sectional tournament to St. Mary's on Saturday night. Tonight's game was brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. So Coach Meister, our crack statistician, Mrs. Coach Meister, has been putting numbers in for us all night. So let's talk about where we got to tonight as far as this giant victory for the Bears, 69-4 over Toledo Boucher.
Yeah.
Toledo Woodward.
It's all right, Coach Arnold. You're going to make it through the night.
Barely.
You're going to get to go home. You got the jitters out of the way. Saturday night, I have no question you will be outstanding. None whatsoever. We get the stats up on the screen. We can talk a little bit about team stats here. We've just been notified that the visual's not working, so I'll cover them verbally here. Let's look at Toledo Woodward team stats. They had 15 rebounds, 29 total turnovers, 4 for 6 from the line, 0 for 17 from the 2, 0 for 4 from the 3. For the Bryan Golden Bears, they had 36 total rebounds, 6 turnovers, 19 for 30 from the free throw line, 22 for 41 from the 2, 2 for 16 from the 3. Individual scoring for Bryan, Allie Elkins with 1, Emmy Miller with 1, Kelsey Thiel with 2, Amaya Langham with 3, Emmeline Slago with 3, Miley Ballman with 5, Avery Ann Fisher with 6, Carly McDade with 8, Josie Arnold with 10, Piper Hanna with 12, and Brea Hepker finishes out the 3 in double figures with an outstanding game with 18 points. And again, I'm sure we'll come back and talk about her, but I just thought she was really, really good tonight. For the Woodward Polar Bears, Morgan Johnson with 1, and leading scorer Ramaya Warren with an outstanding game in 3 points for the total of 4. Final score, Bryan 69, Toledo Woodward 4. And I don't mean this derogatory, but it is the very first time I have watched a basketball game, and you know how many basketball games I have watched between coaching and scouting and filming, that a team was held without a field goal. I've never seen that live. A very impressive defensive performance from the Bryan Golden Lady Bears.
Absolutely. Then earlier this year, Woodward was shut out in a game. And I think in their last 5 games leading up to this, they didn't get to 10 points total. So I think you had them for averaging about 18 points a game.
Yep.
They did have a couple of wins in there. Beat the Horizon Science Academy, Monclova Christian, maybe the Horizon Science Academy again. So they just need to get them on the schedule a little bit more maybe next year. But, you know, they had some nights where they scored some points in the 40s, but 17 points is a struggle. There's not much you're going to be able to do with that. We talked a little bit about it, you know, just to wrap up the Woodward part of the evening. 1 senior. Kids played hard, and the coaches coached hard. I was impressed, like you said, with all of the effort and the energy and things that the coaches put into the game tonight for their girls. So,
you know, one of the things I do as a former coach is I always watch the bench, you know, during the game. And that fourth quarter, it's a running clock. It's over. You know, it's been a long season. All those kids were clapping. All those kids were paying attention to what was going on. When Coach All and the staff was coaching on the floor, those girls looked at him, they listened to them. It's easy to tune a coach out when it's that situation, and they didn't. So let's give kudos to Woodward, Coach All and their staff and their kids, because they stayed engaged and they were trying to get better. And again, bottom line with high school athletics, that's truly what it's about.
Absolutely, and I thought they showed themselves well, because you could very easily sit and pout. You could complain about things that were going on, but I didn't think they did that at all, and their kids kind of reflected that.
Absolutely.
You know, good sports, and they played hard, good effort, nothing to hang their heads about. All right, so that one's over. We put that one to bed. On to St. Mary's for the Lady Bears. We talked about it a little bit there in the fourth quarter when the clock was running. St. Mary's got the Bears by 1 back in early January, mid-January on a Saturday. Bears went down, led the entire ball game, led right from the start, had the lead all the way until a couple of free throws late in that ball game put St. Mary's up by 1 with under a second left. Bears not able to get a shot off, no time on the clock to get anything like that done. And then when the clock ran out, that 1-point deficit was the first time all day that St. Mary's led. And I was out in the lobby. There were some St. Mary's, whether they were dads or fans, but none of us could really remember seeing anything like that either.
Yeah.
Team had trailed the entire ball game. It didn't take their first lead until that final free throw. So Bears got a little bit of little work to do to try to get that monkey off their back and go down there and try to erase that from their memory.
You know, on the silver lining on that situation is if you're a competitor, and I think our girls are really competitive, you have a sour taste in your mouth. And knowing you have a chance to go back down at the same place, the same court, to be able to rectify what happened to you and to do it in a tournament type of situation, I don't think there's any greater motivator than that right there. And I don't think Coach Gross, you have a hard time getting their girls to focus on the task at hand on Saturday night.
No, and I think we've talked about this too around here. We keep running into St. Mary's. I feel like we went a long time where that was not a common opponent for us by any stretch of the imagination. And now with our girls making tournament runs and being in at different sports, whether it's volleyball, soccer, basketball, softball, whatever it is, we're running into St. Mary's a lot. St. Mary's feels like they're running into us a lot, and it's becoming a little bit of a postseason rivalry.
I was going to say, you see it firsthand from an outsider's perspective. It certainly looks like it's kind of becoming a cool rivalry. I don't want to say heated, but an intense rivalry, because most of the times it is in tournament.
Right.
And a lot of times both teams are very good and have aspirations of bigger things in that game, but knowing that game is really big to get to those other aspirations. So I would think it has become kind of a cool rivalry.
Yeah, these games have a lot hanging on them whenever we get together with the Rough Riders. So Saturday will be no different. That is the ticket to get yourself into the districts at Miller City the following week, and just a chance to see if you can keep your season going. We're in the side of the bracket with Bellevue. Bellevue's a monster. We know that. Up above in the top, Genoa's up there also in the top bracket with Bath and Liberty Benton. There's nothing easy about it, but it's a tournament time. You're not going to have any outside of this ball game tonight, which is it's a blip on the radar.
Right.
You're not going to get, nor do you want easy games. You want it to be competitive, and that's what our girls have gotten used to as they've gone through the tournaments over the last couple of years.
You know, sometimes we put so much emphasis on the draw or who plays who or what seeding is. At the end of the day, you got to beat them all anyways. And like you said, you're going to play a good team in tournament. If you want to advance the tournament, you have to beat good teams. So to me, it's about, again, just continue to get better, facing a good team, winning, and then taking that next step. But take the step that's right in front of you, not worrying about what's ahead.
Well, the Bears will play St. Mary's on Saturday, as you can see there on the bracket, at 6 o'clock. Kenton and Bath play at 2 o'clock. That'll decide who goes on February 24th to play each other at Miller City High School at 7:30. If we can bring the upcoming schedule for the Golden Bears Sports Network back on the screen, we'll talk a little bit about what we've got coming up for our broadcast. Our next game with you will be on Friday the 26th. I'm sorry, next Thursday the 26th. That we know. I guess we didn't want to say that we're going to be in that sectional final, so we have a chance we'll bring the girls' game first, and then our boys' game in the tournament on the 26th at 6 o'clock, another 6 o'clock tournament start. You can see there on the screen, girls on the 21st, boys on the 26th, and then we get into the spring season for the next scheduled ones, depending on how tournament action goes for the Bears, with baseball and softball right around the corner. Today I should say, was the first day of spring sports for softball and baseball being officially able to practice. So we had the girls out on the turf a little bit tonight. The boys were at the bats, and things are ready to get rolling at this point. So we're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network, try to get Coach Grosjean up here, do a couple of quick words, and then we'll wrap things up here from Bryan.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Test.
All right, back at Bryan High School here. We got Coach Grosjean up here with us to talk about that. So, Coach Grosjean, first of all, great effort tonight. Any tournament win's a good tournament win, and tonight was a little more unusual than what you're used to.
Yeah, you know, and it's no secret Woodward's rebuilding, and you know they didn't have much choice as to who they had to play because everybody kind of went away from us, and they were the last team to go up. So you got to show up, and you know they're athletic. Fortunately, our number one goal tonight was to get out here in one piece, and we were able to do that. You know, always afraid to play your starters too long, or somebody rolls an ankle, or gets hit in the head, or gets a concussion. And fortunately, we didn't have that. And I thought hidden in all that, we had some bright spots. I thought Rhea Hepker did a great job, and the reason why she did a great job, she was on the receiving end of some pretty unselfish passes. And that's a credit to our kids. We talked about sharing the basketball, and I thought Piper Hanna was really active and looked to score offensively. And Carly McDade, I think she's going to be a player in this program if she sticks with it and keeps working, because she's got, you know, she's able to knock down a 15-footer, and she can also, you know, display some post moves at times. So Emmeline Slagle gave us great minutes. So.
Yeah, I think that was a nice thing you were able to get so many girls on there and reward some of those JV kids. And Coach Meister talked about it. It's not a lot of fun to coach when you're on the wrong side of that, and I wouldn't say that it's not fun to coach when you're on the right side of it, but it's not easy to coach on the right side of that either.
And you're leery about, you know, what you're up by whatever we were up, and you see somebody gets hurt. You know, Josie went in for that layup in the start of the third quarter, and you know she got fouled, and you know you're leery that somebody's going to take her into the mat or whatever, and that didn't happen. But you know I hold my breath every time that happens. So. But I thought our kids took care of business. We wanted the pace up, and we were able to do that. And, you know, we're going to have our hands full on Saturday.
Let's talk a little bit about Saturday. Coach Arnold and I were talking about it just went to break, and for you came up. How much does the first game you played against them come into play as far as a motivational factor? And maybe mention some of the things that you're going to focus on the next few days before you head into Saturday's game against St. Mary's.
Well, I hope it does. I hope they have something to say about it, because we let one slip through our fingertips. And you know, this game Saturday probably would have been here if, you know, we wouldn't have let that get away. So, you know, I think defensively we're just going to have to, you know, go back to fundamentals defensively, play with our feet, not give up dribble penetration. They got a really good point guard that can put the ball on the floor. They got a post player that will step out and shoot the three. The freshmen they had last time we played really hurt us, slashing and getting to the offensive glass, so we're going to have to address that as well. But, you know, we're going to shoot the basketball. We didn't shoot it particularly well from the perimeter. You know, we're kind of settling for threes that we were getting, and you know, hopefully we'll shoot it a little bit better the next 3 days in practice.
If you can, just because it's the final time, we talked about this tonight too, and you didn't get a chance, probably their last senior game, but maybe just briefly mention your seniors. Again, we're going to talk about this Saturday in the broadcast, because some of the numbers, I was looking at them, doing some research. The things they've accomplished in the last 4 years, and you as well in the entire program, is incredible. But we want to give you a chance just to talk about your seniors, because I've known you for 30-plus years. And like all guys and gals who have coached a long time, you know your seniors are your rock every season. So go ahead, give a couple minutes. And just
cry here, Tim.
No, no.
You know, the two that aren't in uniform,
right?
Great kids. We miss them dearly. You know, we went into the season with one of them at least. You know, we had her all summer, Ava, and she tears her ACL in soccer, and everything changes. Amaya goes from being the 2 to the 1, and you know, our depth changes, and you know, Emmy Miller was on the fence whether she was going to come out, and we talked her into coming out, and we're so glad she did, because she's been helpful defensively and spelling people and filling her role. And Gabby Mossberg, unfortunately, she was going to try and do it, and probably should have had surgery, but you know, was hoping it'd heal and be able to come back. And you know, bless her heart, those are our 2 quickest kids from last year, and our two of our better defenders. And we just challenge the kids. Somebody else got to step up and step into those roles, and we've had that. Jesse Kidston's been one of them. Emmy Miller's been another. And Bree Richmond early on was one. And then you got our two that are in uniform, Miley Ballmer, who does so many good things and offensively, and when she sets her mind to it, plays defense, she's as good as anybody in the area, and we're going to need that on Saturday because she was the difference maker in that first game down there, and we're going to need her to obviously score the basketball. And then you got Josie, who, what a leader. She was a 6th or 7th man on the team that made it down to Dayton, and then her role changed the following year where she was able to play the 2 and come in and spell people off the bench. And we don't win the league if she doesn't make shots at Liberty Center over there. And
well, they still talk about that over there.
Yeah, they do. Well, there's been an Arnold in a uniform for what, 11 years?
11 years, I think. Yeah.
And,
you're lucky she said it junior, because he said as well she shot at Liberty Center, he was transferred here the next year because
she does like that, Jim. She may just try to get pickup games in there as she gets older.
But what a kid! And, she played. I talked to our junior high kids today about playing 4 sports. She played 4 sports this year, and is a 4.0 student. So
we talked about that, Coach Arnold and I. It's just not this senior class, but it's a lot of our senior classes. That's such a key to success. Is they're great kids, but they contribute to their school. They don't focus on one sport. They play all sports. They're involved in other organizations. How many of those kids are in a fellowship of Christian athletes? I mean, they're well-rounded kids. I think that speaks a lot to you as coaches and administrators at Bryan, because I know you encourage that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked to our junior high kids about how many kids have gone on to play at the next level, and there hadn't been many. I don't want to burst kids' bubble, but we've got kids that, they played 4 sports, had a blast, made a ton of memories, and that's okay. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket and try to play at the next level, and that's all you do, and someday you probably regret it. So.
Well, congratulations, another good tournament win. You got another one waiting on the horizon now on Saturday evening. Good luck as you go back down to St. Mary's.
Thanks, Brian.
Let's go get one, huh?
Yep, that'd
good.
Be fun.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here from Bryan High School. Lady Bears big over Toledo Woodward tonight, 69-4. Congratulations to Coach Grosjean, his girls, his staff. And on to St. Mary's Saturday night. Next broadcast for the Golden Bear Sports Network, 6 o'clock tip down at St. Mary's. And that'll be followed by boys tournament action. And depending on how the girls do, there may be another one we sneak in there before we get to the boys on Thursday the 26th.
Let's hope.
All right, I want to thank our crew tonight. As always, thank you to Director John Dalrymple. On robotics was Trinity Sampson. Cameras tonight, Lily Walker, Colton Sheeline, and Wes Lupo. I want to thank Chris Malanga for being the puppet master in the truck, doing a fantastic job. Thank Karen Meister for running stats. And back at WQCT Radio, thanks to Rick Armentrout. This student broadcast is produced by the Golden Bear Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any duplication or other use of this broadcast, including descriptions or accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Bryan City School District, is prohibited. One final time for all of us at the Golden Bear Sports Network. With Tim Meister, I'm Brian Arnold. Again, your final score, 69-4. Lady Bears big in a tournament win tonight. Have a great night, everybody.